Okay, so let's just jump right in. It's pretty rare that you can look at a calendar and say, that's the week everything changed. But for artificial intelligence, it looks like that's exactly what just happened. We're about to break down a massive shift that almost everyone missed. Now, that's not me saying that. That is a direct quote from our source material. And it's a huge claim, right? The whole point of this explainer is to show you exactly why that statement is true by looking at the key events that really triggered this turning point. So, how do you even begin to back up a claim that big? Well, we're going to walk through 5 different stories. They might seem totally unrelated at first, but when you put them together, they paint a really clear picture. Think of them like puzzle pieces. Let's start with the first one, a deep philosophical split that's rocking the entire industry. First up, there's this huge ideological fracture happening in the AI world, and it's centered on national security. I mean, this isn't just a simple business disagreement, no. This is a fundamental fight over the real-world role AI should play. And to get a sense of just how big this is, you gotta look at the money. OpenAI just pulled together a staggering $110 billion. You don't raise that kind of cash to make a slightly better chatbot. This signals they're trying to build a grand coalition, and that includes some very powerful partners, like the US military. And this is where you see the two sides so clearly. On one hand, you've got a company like Anthropic. They're actually being called a national security risk because they won't remove their safety features for military use. But on the other hand, you have OpenAI, who are going all in, working to plug their tech right into the heart of the Pentagon. I mean, these are two completely different visions for the future. But here's the thing. While this whole philosophical war is going on, the technology itself is not slowing down. Not at all. In fact, it's taking a massive leap forward, evolving from just being a model into something totally new, a full-blown operating system for AI. Okay, so we gotta get our heads around this term AI agent. This is key. We're not just talking about chatbots you type questions into anymore. An agent is an autonomous system. It can actively use tools like browse the internet, use your apps, and it can even create little sub-agents to help it finish a task. It's a system that actually does stuff for you. And this is why it's such a game changer. Look, when the CEO of NVIDIA, the company literally powering this whole revolution, calls a new platform the new Linux, you really, really need to pay attention. Linux became the backbone of the internet and servers. The idea here is that OpenClaw is going to be that same foundation for this new world of autonomous AI agents. Okay, so you have this new agentic OS, but what's the engine? What's the brain inside? Well, that brings us to our third story, because the core AI models themselves also got a massive, massive upgrade this week. 2 absolutely huge things happened here. First, GPT 5.4 is out, and it has native computer control. That means it can literally take control of your mouse and keyboard to do things for you, just like a person would. And at the exact same time, a competitor, Mistral, drops its new model that combines top-tier reasoning, coding, and computer vision all into one package. The raw capability is just exploding. So you get all this crazy new power, and what happens next? Well, the real world starts to push back. For our fourth story, we're seeing lawmakers finally stepping in with very specific laws to deal with the damage AI can cause. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi problem. This is happening right now. The reason for this new bill was a series of just tragic, real-world events where AI chatbots pretending to be therapists gave incredibly harmful advice to teenagers who were really struggling. The consequences are very real. So the line here is pretty straight, right? The problem is that AIs are being used to impersonate licensed professionals, doctors, lawyers, and it's causing real harm. The response is HR 7985, a bill designed specifically to shut that down. And for our final story, we're going to take a hard left turn into something you probably weren't expecting at all. While everyone's been focused on digital tasks and reasoning, AI has been quietly moving into a totally new area, our sense of smell. And again, this isn't some little experiment in a lab. A company called Inos is rolling out 1,400 of what they call AI noses in factories. 1,400 of them. This isn't a demo of future tech. This is an industrial deployment that's happening as we speak. The application is just incredible. These AI devices can literally smell the air in a semiconductor factory and detect a dangerous chemical leak with parts per billion accuracy. It's just amazing proof that AI is breaking out of the digital world and into the physical one.
All right, so we've got this ideological split, a brand new operating system, way more powerful models, new laws, and AI that can smell. What on earth do all these things have to do with each other? It's time to connect the dots.
What's the thread that ties all 5 of these stories together? Why did it all seem to happen in just 1 week? And more importantly, what does it tell us about where we're headed? Here it is. This is the big takeaway. We have officially moved past the era of simple chatbots and image generators. We are now in the agentic era, an era of autonomous systems that can perceive, reason, and act in both the digital world and the physical one. Every single story we just covered is a symptom of that shift. And that leaves us with, well, a pretty huge question, doesn't it? As these autonomous agents get more and more capable, as they control our computers, work in our factories, and make decisions for us, we really have to ask, are we just building better assistants, or are we building our own replacements? That's the defining question of this new agentic era.